I now call upon Dr. Bob Shea to present the honorary degree candidate, John Santiago.
Mr. President, it's my pleasure to present John Santiago to receive the honorary degree of Doctor of Science.
John Santiago, we are so honored to have you here as our commencement speaker. But first we would, as Dr. Shea said, like to recognize you as one of our honorary degree recipients. John, you've led a life of exemplary public service across numerous disciplines, including medicine, public health, military service, and government. From an early age, you saw the effects of the inequities of healthcare, particularly in Latino communities, and through the experience of a relative who developed HIV/AIDS. These experiences set you on a trajectory of seeking solutions to the problems and inequities in healthcare systems at both the local and global levels. Your passion and dedication drew you to mission-driven environments. As a member of the Peace Corps, serving in the Dominican Republic, you worked closely with the Haitian immigrant communities. As a Fulbright scholar in France, you conducted research on HIV/AIDS, which also took you to Africa and Latin America. And as an emergency medicine physician at Boston Medical Center, where you still work today, you were on the front lines of the COVID pandemic. From these experiences, you learned the impacts of policies and the value of working closely with community and government leaders. So you ran for office and served in the Massachusetts House of Representatives. Following in the footsteps of other family members, you also served as a major in the U.S. Army Reserve Medical Corps, deploying twice to Syria and Kuwait and earning awards for your service. And most recently, you served as Massachusetts' first cabinet-level Secretary of Veterans Services. This was an area of state government that needed a reset, and you successfully transformed the agency and improved services for veterans. It is my pleasure to recognize your exceptional leadership, your lifelong commitment to public service, and your dedication to providing access to health care and improving the lives of all. John Santiago, by action of Curry College, the Board of Trustees concurring, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of Higher Education of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I confer upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Science and admit to you all the rights and privileges thereunto pertaining. Come on up and stand with me. Please join me again in congratulating Dr. John Santiago on becoming a Curry College degree recipient. So I've had the pleasure of knowing John since he was a candidate for the State House of Representatives in 2018. He was elected in a race against a longtime incumbent, a race that no one thought he would win. John defied expectations. As evidenced by the long list of his achievements I cited earlier, John has not let his potential be defined by the expectations of others. He is motivated by the desire to have a positive impact in the lives of others, and he has set high expectations of himself and worked hard to do so. As a Peace Corps volunteer, as a major in the Army Reserves, as a state representative, as the Secretary of Veterans Services, and as an emergency room doctor in the hospital that serves the largest population of low-income families and individuals in New England. I have a great deal of respect for John, and I know his story and example will resonate with and inspire our graduating students and the rest of the Curry community here with us today. Please join me in welcoming our 2026 commencement speaker, Dr. John Santiago.
Good morning, everyone. What a beautiful day for such a beautiful occasion. To President Gonzalez, the Board of Trustees, faculty, families, Library President Dr. Lily Sue, and most of all, to the Curry College Class of 2026. Congratulations. When President Gonzalez and I began talking about this opportunity, I was drawn immediately to the history of this institution. Curry College was founded nearly 150 years ago as a school of elocution and expression, a school built truly on the power of the human voice. And here we are, a century and a half later, more majors, more graduates, more voices entering the fields of healthcare, education, business. Voices going out and making this world a better place. And your time at Curry has shaped that voice. Whether it gave you the bravery to step forward as a bold and visible leader, or the quiet confidence to lead from within, your voice has been sharpened here, defined here, and now it belongs to you. But a voice without an audience is just sound. And I can tell you, from the emergency room to the State House to veteran offices all across the Commonwealth, that there are communities that remain voiceless. People who are unseen, unheard, underserved, and you, because of your education, your resilience, and your Curry College experience, can change that. I know that because I was once in your seat. Like many of you, I struggled. I made mistakes. There were moments I wasn't so sure of myself. And I've learned that people like us, people who have to fight for every single inch, aren't defined by where we started. We're defined by our resilience, by what we do when things get hard. And things will get hard, I can promise you that. Because even after all the degrees, all the experience, all the titles, there were still moments when I had a voice and went quiet. When I saw something wrong in the emergency room and said nothing. When I knew the right answer in a policy meeting and let the moment pass. When I was scared or tired or just didn't want to be the difficult one. I have failed to speak up when I should have. And that silence costs something. I share that not to be dramatic, but because you will face those moments too. You will feel like an imposter. You will walk out of the room replaying the thing you should have said, and that's not weakness. That's being human. What matters most is what you do the next time that moment comes. Across the 459 graduating voices today, coming from different backgrounds, different struggles, different dreams, you all share something very powerful. The opportunity to use your voice to save a life, to teach the next generation, to start something the world hasn't seen yet. But the question is, how will you use it? Will it just be for you? Or will it be for all of us, especially the least amongst us? I know for me personally, it took experience, but most of all, many failures to answer those questions. And I remember several very well. One time I was about your age. I had recently graduated college. I was serving as a Peace Corps volunteer in the Dominican Republic, and there was no running water, no electricity, no latrines, a public health crisis the community had been living with forever. And all they wanted were latrines, something that wasn't just about public health, but also human dignity. So when the supplies finally arrived for a latrine project, I showed up early, shovel in hand, ready to go, but no one came. And I was furious. How could they not show up for something they desperately wanted? What I failed to understand was simple. I had been talking at my community, not with them. I spoke the language, I smiled, but I hadn't listened. I hadn't let them lead. The moment I put down the shovel and stepped back, the project moved and the latrines were built. You see, a voice is not just for speaking. Sometimes the most powerful thing your voice can do is go quiet. So remember, your voice needs to listen. Another lesson for me didn't happen in one day. It happened across thousands of emergency room shifts. I work at Boston Medical Center, the largest safety and hospital and busiest trauma center in New England. Think gunshot wounds, heart attacks, strokes, overdoses, life hanging in the balance. And what those rooms taught me over and over again is that no one saves a life alone. Not the physician, not the paramedic, not even the nurse. But it's often the nurse who catches what everyone else missed. It's because the nurse has been at the bedside all shift, listening, engaging. You see, the nurse knows. So to the nursing graduates today that are here, your voice is not insignificant or inferior, it's essential. But acting doesn't mean acting alone. It means speaking up within the team, raising the concern, flagging the detail, saying the thing that needs to be said even when the room feels intimidating. The best medical teams I've ever been a part of were not the ones where one person had all the answers. They were the ones where everyone felt safe enough to use their voice. And to build on that, when you look beyond the walls of the hospital, the reason why people keep on flooding emergency rooms all across this country and Commonwealth isn't only because they're sick. It's because they're poor, unhoused, failed by systems that were supposed to save them. And that takes all of us speaking up together across discipline to make things right. So, don't wait for someone else to go first. Your voice needs to act, not alone, but with others. The last thing I'll share is less about a personal story, but more about reckoning with the world you're walking into today. And I want to be honest with you because you deserve honesty more than comfort. So look around. The world you are inheriting is not the one we promised you. It's on fire. Political violence has returned. Democracies are wobbling. Wars that seemed unthinkable are being fought. And here at home, the safety net, healthcare, housing, veteran services is being pulled apart thread by thread, while the people who depend on it most hold their breath. I won't pretend that it isn't heavy because it truly is. And I've sat in rooms on both sides of these debates as a legislator, as a veteran secretary, as a physician, watching the consequences land in my ER. And what I can tell you is this: the crisis is not just political, it's a crisis of leadership. You see, we are short on leaders who understand complexity. We need leaders who listen before they speak and who are grounded in real human experience, so they can make decisions that actually serve people. We need leaders who have sat in a waiting room, have stood at the bedside of a sick patient, who have served in uniform, who knows what's actually at stake when a policy gets written or a vote gets cast. And that's you, now, and what you will become. Because you are exactly who this moment is asking for. So get involved, be engaged, show up at a town hall, run for office. I promise it's possible, even when they tell you to wait your turn. I was told to wait. I didn't, and the people of my community were better for it. You see, the world does not need more noise. It needs more of you in the room where decisions are being made. So remember, your voice needs to lead. So here's where I leave you, class of 2026. Curry College gave you a voice. It sharpened it, tested it, and sent you out into a world that needs it urgently. But I know, because I've been there, that even a confident voice can go quiet. Insecurity is real. Self-doubt is real. The feeling that you are not enough for the room you're standing in, that's all real. But don't let it win. Because the world doesn't need a perfect voice. It needs your voice, the one shaped by your struggle and your resilience and everything you brought to this campus and everything that Curry College gave back to you. So remember to let your voice listen deeply and humbly to the communities you serve. Let your voice act boldly and together on behalf of those counting on you. And make sure your voice leads, even when it's hard, even when it's lonely, and even when they tell you to wait your turn. You see, your degree is not the finish line. It's just a starting block. The greatest education you will ever receive is still ahead. It will be in the work and struggle you're about to undertake and in the service you will offer. So find your voice. Use it for others. And when you lose it, because you will, find it again. Congratulations, Curry class of 2026. Now go do the work. Thank you very much.